you'd be right. It is nuts. It does nothing but bad. But when you're inside the bubble, sitting alone in your room, staring at the internet, sometimes it's really hard to control yourself and do the sensible thing. Do you regret jumping in and getting involved with them?
I think morally it was the right thing to do. I think from a personal point of view, I could do without the hate mail. I've had death threats. I could do without I feel upset that my family were contacted.
When somebody who was actually there at the moment of the explosion, rather than somebody who sits at home on the internet and theorises, comes and confronts the theorists, why do the conspiracy theorists get so angry and so personal?
Well, I think, again, you're trying to make this to be the case, but I have to say, when Rachel North did come to one of our meetings, I thought her behaviour showed signs of mental illness. Because
Rachel was mentally ill?
No, I'm saying that the behaviour I saw over there, and I don't know particularly well, showed signs of mental illness.
What did she do that was mentally ill?
It was the degree with which she attacked me for having to say this thing about precisely the same stations. It was the fact that once she said it, she stood up, came running towards me and started shouting at me. There was a madness about this, and I would invite you to actually interview anybody else who was there, because they will say the same thing.
But that's because Rachel thinks it's nonsense.
Well, how does she know until she's seen the evidence? And I say, I'm getting the same sort of vibe off you here, John. That you think it's nonsense, you haven't seen the evidence, you see. But this is the problem we're in, because a viewpoint arrived at without evidence is prejudice. And to say that Muslims carried out 9/11, those 3 guys from Leeds and 1 from Aylesbury, without evidence... Sorry, 7/7. The 4 guys, they're supposed to have carried out 7/7. The evidence is simply not there to say it. To say they did it...
What about the video? Was that
racist, John. It's racist. You're being racist against Muslims if you think those 3 guys carried out that attack on the evidence there.
Oh, off. Do you... It's what I uncontrollably feel as if I should say to you, though. For so many reasons, David.
Include the recording of that in the actual interview, please, because... Or can I have a recording of that to play to people now? Because I don't think John here is actually being an objective interviewer at all. This is very, very personal, John. I mean, obviously, we appreciate that I'm coming to talk to you today because there's been enormous interest in the 9/11 truth movement. I'll be absolutely honest with you that certain people have said to me before I came here, you should be very careful with this man. He may be a shill and so on. I said, I don't think that. I want to go and talk to the man and find out what he's all about.
And now that you've met me, do you think they're right and I am a shill?
No, I don't. I don't think you're a shill at all, no.
So will you tell them that I'm not a shill?
Oh, of course I will. That's the conclusion. I'm not an expert in the case, but what I've read about you, what I understand of this interview here, John, I honestly can say that if you're my honest opinion from my heart, I don't think you're a shill.
Now, I've got to admit, the whole thing began because I inadvertently typed my name into Google and accidentally pressed search, and I found a website, or I found a discussion that was called John Ronson Shill. So I'm not stupid.
Okay, but
because because it's a bit insulting.
Look, John, I get the same thing myself, so I'm entirely sympathetic to you. But I have to say with the proviso again that if you don't take the briefing, I will have to say that's a sign of
not shilldom.
No,
stupidity.
No, ignorance.
Ignorance. Okay. Well, he's not a shill. He's not stupid, but he's ignorant. I can live with that. I can live with. The conspiracy theorists insist that any other way. I guess it's pejorative, but the reason why I don't want to take the briefing is because I think the experience would suck the very soul out of my body through my ears. When they hear this, they're still not going to believe that you exist, some of them, especially because I'm interviewing you, because they see me as part of the cabal.
I've given up trying to change their minds now. I know I exist. All the people on the train who've met me know I exist. I got off the train covered in blood and smoke and silt with glass in my hair and metal sticking out of my wrist bone. I went and was given a statement to the police. I was photographed. I was stitched up in the hospital. I can produce dozens of witnesses that I was there, that I am who I am. And if some people choose not to believe that, then I pity them, really.
John Ronson, who did that story, is the author of a book about conspiracy theorists.